So Thanksgiving is literally just a couple of days away if you are in Northern America. And if you are anything like me and you go to the grocery store and you're so excited about Thanksgiving and you're getting all the things and then it occurs to you, I need to make sure that we have something to eat on the days leading up to Thanksgiving. So if that is you and your mind is Thanksgiving focused, but you need to just have a couple of quick meals that are hearty and filling and just healthy before we some of us may overindulge or indulge a little bit for the holiday season, then I have a couple of recipes that are really, really easy to put together and delicious and healthy. So I have 6 chicken thighs and I like the bone in and the skin on, and then I have just added some seasoning to both sides on all of them. The other thing that I like to do is to just quarter or just cut into about maybe 6 pieces of just whatever onion I have on hand. I added these. These are going to really get caramelized and delicious. This is something that I love to do with any sort of roast meat. It adds flavor while it's cooking, and it also doubles as like an additional side or garnish because it gets caramelized and sweet. I like to take half of the chicken and I might put barbecue sauce on it if I decide to, and the other part I might just leave with herbs, but I like to have seasoning on my chicken prior to even putting any sauce on it, just because it just tastes better to me, and I may or may not decide to put sauce on it. So I went ahead and just put my seasonings. You can put your favorite seasonings and pop that into the oven. I like to cook it for about 425 degrees for about an hour. And then I have a bulb of garlic. I chop off the top and then I pour avocado oil on top. I put some salt on it, and then I bundle this up, and I'm just going to sit this in the same pan with the chicken or the butternut squash, which is the other option that I'm putting with this meal. And whenever I turn on the oven, I like to do double duty. So I'm going to roast this garlic because I'm using it for something else during the week, and it just adds great flavor. Next, I have this huge sheet pan. I ran out of parchment paper, but I'm just melting some coconut oil on there. I chopped up a very large butternut squash, and I'm going to put that on the pan, and I'm just going to roll all of it into the coconut oil. You could use avocado oil, any oil that'll work well with a high smoke point, because the chicken is cooking at 425 degrees. It's pretty high, so I want to make sure that these just get roasted and caramelized. So I'm adding them to a pan. This was a really quick meal, and honestly, you could put sweet potatoes here if you did not care for this, but butternut squash is just packed with nutrients. I'm adding some ground sage because that's just a fall seasoning for me. I love to add things that are just fall seasons for me, so it just makes me think of Thanksgiving. And since we're in the week of, so I like to add thyme or sage or anything like that. I'm just using my hands. I'm getting in there, just really just putting all the coconut oil all over it. You could obviously put this in a bowl too, but sometimes I don't want to cause any extra dishes than I have to. And since I was already out of parchment, I was like, let me just do this. You could use sweet potato, you could use regular potato, any sort of root vegetable that you like, or any sort of winter squash is perfect here. You're getting a lot of nutrients and you're getting beta carotene. So these aren't going to take as long to roast as the chicken. So this is going to take about 20 minutes or until it gets to the just tenderness and caramelization that you want. This is what it looks like after about 20 to 25 minutes. All of it. This is what it looks like with some broccoli. We've got that barbecue baked chicken. We've got the caramelized onion and the caramelized butternut squash. Delicious meal, super filling, and it freezes really well also. Next up, I am just having some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I've sauteed those. I've added some cilantro, and I'm going in with this Kevin's paleo sauce. This stuff is amazing. This is like a Thai coconut lemongrass. It has so many layers of flavor. You can pause for the ingredients if you want to see that, but this is just a really easy skillet meal. You can use chicken. You can use boneless, skinless thighs. I have done both. I love both. This time I just used what I had on hand. I'm adding this in after I've sauteed all my chicken. I added just a little bit of extra coconut milk to mine just because I wanted a little extra sauce, and I did add some cilantro because I wanted a little bit more of that also. So I add cilantro to everything though. You do not have to add that. It's so delicious. And I have some organic zucchini that needed to be eaten, so I just added some coconut oil to a pan, and I'm just going to saute this. Add whatever vegetable you like. I'm adding some turmeric in here, and turmeric is amazing. It's jaw-droppingly amazing for your health. Such a great anti-inflammatory. It's anti-carcinogenic too. It kills cancer cells. So I love to use something like this. You always want to add black pepper to turmeric so that your body can absorb the phytonutrients that are in there and the chemicals that are actually beneficial. I added some frozen broccoli in here, and I'm just tossing that around. It's that simple. So just toss that around. That's what it looks like when it's done. You could use riced cauliflower as your base. I'm actually using quinoa. Basmati rice or jasmine rice would also be amazing here, but use what you have. It's so easy to put this together. I'm just topping some quinoa that I made in my Instant Pot. I'm adding that to the top. This was so filling and so delicious, and it tastes like takeout without that feeling that you get after takeout. That's kind of, I don't know if you get bloated and things like that. Either way, you know what ingredients are in this. Super, super easy, filling, and delicious. So on to the next meal. Next up, we've got chicken again, but this time we're doing chicken and sausage. I've got 2.5 pounds of chicken breast. I just chopped it up. I'm just going to saute this, not even until it's completely done. I'm just going to brown it on all sides in some coconut oil. I am adding some smoked paprika, some salt, and just some Italian seasonings. You can add whatever seasonings you would like. To the Instant Pot, I am going to add in some aromatics like some onions and things like that, because we are going to make this chicken and beef sausage soup. And I literally just threw this together with things that I had. Once you're done cooking it, it doesn't have to be completely done. I used smoked paprika again. I used Italian seasoning, and I used some sea salt. So you just want to always just add seasoning to all the layers of your food, even if you're putting something in the Instant Pot, because it just brings out the flavor. In the Instant Pot, I have 3 cloves of garlic and a half of an onion, and I love this Pacific Foods organic chicken broth. Great ingredients in that. I want to say it was like $3. I bought this huge head of cauliflower like a week ago. I could not eat it all or cook it all, so I chopped up the entire head, and then I put half of it in the freezer. I did the same thing with some dragon kale that I had, and you can use whatever green you like here. Use whatever is in your freezer that needs to be used. You could use peppers, whatever you want to use is how you put this together. I have these Yukon Gold potatoes. I have scrubbed them, and I'm gonna leave the skin on just for like a rustic soup. And I have the Teton grass-fed pasture-raised beef Polish sausages. These are amazing. I've showed them in a grocery haul, but I'm just going to saute those just to bring out some of the flavors, and also to pull out a little bit of the fat that's naturally in this beef sausage, because it's just going to give such a great flavor. And when the onions and the garlic and the aromatics get in there, it just, oh my goodness, it tastes so good. You could literally just put anything that you wanted at this point. I've used ground chicken, I've used ground beef. This time I just added in that chicken breast that I made, and again, that's all I did. I just cooked it up. Back to, while this is sauteing, I'm going to add in the chicken that I made. You could add in whatever you would like here. It can be ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef. Just use about 1 pound to 2 pounds of whatever protein you want to use, along with some sort of sausage. You could use like a kielbasa. I'm just using this this Polish sausage, which it just adds so much flavor. Next, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour, and this is just to get a thickness to the soup, so it's not super soupy. But it's a thicker consistency. So I am just, I have that saute button pressed, and I'm just going to just work all of that in there until it is all dissolved. Wipe it down from the sides. And then this is when you can add in your frozen vegetables or your fresh vegetables and your potatoes. I'm adding in that frozen kale. You could do any green that you like right here. And then I love soups because you can sneak in so many hearty vegetables, and if it's a good sauce, if it's a good soup flavor, many times no one's going to even notice. My kid did not notice, and he does not like cauliflower. So I added in the potatoes after that. Add whatever potatoes you like. You could use red potatoes, anything with a soft skin. I am just turning that saute function off because I'm going to start adding in the liquid. So I showed you the Pacific Foods chicken broth, but you could use whatever broth you like. I just mixed everything together, so I'm just going to add in that broth. You could add chicken broth, you could add vegetable broth, whatever you prefer. And then this is a 4-cup container. If there is if I need to add a little bit more liquid, I'll just top it off with some water because I'm also going to add something else to this soup to just thicken it and give it a hearty, more filling flavor. I added coconut, and then I want to say I added 2 cups. Yeah, it was 2 cups of coconut cream, or you could add 1 can of coconut milk. So I added 2 cups of the coconut cream. I'm mixing that around, and this is our dairy-free version of, you could add a heavy cream if you're not dairy free, and you could add that after you're done cooking, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it all at once. I'm just making sure that everything is down into the liquid before I add on the top of the Instant Pot lid. Everything is technically cooked. The chicken obviously can cook a little bit more, but we really just want to make sure everything is submerged so all of those flavors come together. And this is so filling and so delicious. And I actually have a flatbread that I'm putting with this. There's the coconut cream. I wanted you to see what it looks like. So it's a bit thicker than coconut milk, but that's what it looks like. I'm using this grain-free flatbread mix because I like soup with something next to it, some sort of bread. Growing up, my mom would make things like chili and have cornbread with it. And these are the ingredients. You can pause it if you want to see that. I'll link it in the description below if I can find it on Amazon. I actually just picked this up at a store because I wanted something to go with this soup to kind of round things out. And this was actually really, really good. I liked it a lot. Really simple. It just called for coconut oil and some eggs and some water, and you just basically just press it down on a parchment lined sheet. So I've got my eggs. I'm just making it according to the directions. I just melted some coconut oil, and I'm just going to get everything mixed together. This is what it looks like. So really, really simple ingredients. It was really tasty, and it was super, super quick. So it only takes 30 minutes for the soup to cook. I just literally hit the high temperature manual button. I put it at 30 minutes. On my Instant Pot, I put the lid on. So while that was coming to pressure, I just started making my flatbread. I made it and I actually sat it aside so it would be hot when the soup got done, because that took 30 minutes. But once you put everything in a pot, it comes together so quickly. You could even use pre-cooked chicken, which I've done that before too, and it came out so good. So the whole point is the flavors and the layers of flavors and just getting that creaminess from the coconut milk or coconut cream. But this is just that bread, and I'm just going to mix that up quickly. So here is what the dough looks like. It's slightly sticky, but not too bad. I have a parchment lined sheet, and I am just going to flatten this out. I actually added a little bit of just water to the tips of my finger so that it was easier to just kind of pat down. You can make whatever shape you want. I wasn't being fancy. I was just being quick, and I just pressed all of that out this again. And I think that it would be really, really good as like a flatbread, as they said. Again, I'm just using this for the soup. So this is what it looks like when it is done. and you can just score it. I'm just taking this little pizza cutter. I'm sure you could cut it with whatever you have. I may have even, next time I'll probably do this before. I meant to score it before I put it in the oven, but I'm just gonna cut it, and you just work with what you have, right? And this meal came together really quickly because it took just about 7 or 8 minutes to saute the chicken, and then just to put everything into the pot. That took another maybe 5 minutes, and then it was 30 minutes to cook it. So it wasn't a super laborious meal, and if you already had something pre-cooked, it's even faster. So this is what the bread looks like. I thought it was really, really good. I don't know why I cut these weird shapes. This is the soup. It was so good and so hearty. And we actually had some really great leftovers from this. We're a family of 3, so this could easily fit a larger family. This is what it looks like. It was really, really good. Love that flatbread option. So in this Thanksgiving season, I definitely wanted to just let you know how much I appreciate that you are here, and I'm thankful that you're here. I hope that I can be a part of your wellness journey, and I'm thankful if you allow me to do that. Until next time, your life matters, what you do with it matters. So what will you steward well? Peace.